Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see Gauss law of magnetism. In previous lecture we have seen Gauss law for electrostatics. Now in this topic we have seen the electric flux. Now in Gauss law of magnetism we need to understand the magnetic flux. See, flux is represented by phi, but my dear students, here we are discussing about the magnetic flux, and in previous lectures we have discussed about the electric flux, which is written also phi, right? So let us understand the difference. It is a B flux. B is nothing but magnetic field, right? Now let us understand what is the magnetic flux. See, magnetic flux over an area in an magnetic field represents the total number of magnetic field lines crossing this area normally. Now let us understand what they are trying to tell here. Let us say, my dear students, here if I consider any area like this, let us say this is any area, right? I am considering the area in YZ plane. Here for area, this coordinate is y, this coordinate is z, and let us say this area y into z is s. S is nothing but area y into z. Now my dear students, for this area vector, what will be the direction? The area vector is perpendicular to this surface, therefore the direction of this area vector will be like this. It should be the direction of S, right? Or En cap, you can write here En cap also, that is unit vector in the direction of area. This is the direction of area vector, now which is perpendicular to the surface. Already many times we have seen in previous lectures. And let us say through this area the magnetic flux is passing, or the magnetic field is passing. Let us say the magnetic field lines are like this. Let us say the magnetic field lines are like this. I will tell like this. I will consider magnetic field lines are like this. Let us say this is a B field. This is a magnetic field which is called B field, right? And here let us say the angle between the area vector, means here this x-axis, area vector, and magnetic flux or magnetic field lines is theta. This phi, which is nothing but magnetic flux, is calculated as it is a dot product between magnetic field line and area vector. It is a dot product between magnetic field line and area vector, and as it is dot product, therefore we can write Bs cos theta, where theta is angle between vector B and vector S, right? This is how we have to calculate, and this is for uniform magnetic field, right? If this B is uniform, direct dot product we can do like this. But for non-uniform surface, now let us say the magnetic field is not uniform or the surface is not uniform, so I can say for non-uniform surface, we can write, let us understand, for non-uniform surface the total magnetic flux, this phi, is nothing but, here we have to do integration. Here only we have to do integration. What we will do, many times we have seen this, we are considering very small elemental area, this very small area ds, right? And through this very small area we are calculating d phi. D phi is nothing but b dot ds. Through very small area we are calculating very small magnetic flux passing, and let us integrate both sides. If I integrate both sides, then I will get total flux. Therefore this total flux will be integration b dot ds, and it is for closed surface. Therefore it is a cyclic integration, right? Therefore this will be for non-uniform surfaces. And already we have seen the dot product of two vector quantity is always scalar. Therefore this magnetic flux is also scalar quantity. So write somewhere this magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. Here I will write magnetic flux is a scalar quantity, right? And whenever, and also one thing we know that theta less than 90 degree the cos theta will be positive, and theta more than 90 degree the cos theta will be negative. Let us understand. Let us say if I consider one spherical surface, let us say if I consider one spherical surface like this, like football, it is a spherical closed surface like football, and let us say the magnetic flux lines are passing like this. Let us say if I consider any magnetic field line, this is a B line. Now see, during entry, if I check here very small surface area or very small surface, if I consider, right, for this surface, for spherical surface, the flux or the area vector is outside perpendicular to the surface, therefore here the area vector will be like this, ds, very small area vector will be like this, ds, and here the field is going like this, right? It is going like this, means at this location the field is entering into the surface, and if I check theta, definitely it is more than 90 degree. Theta is more than 90 degree, right? So my dear students, cos more than 90, therefore cos more than 90 will be negative, means whenever the flux is entering inside, it is negative, because bs cos theta, this will become negative, right? You can understand here, means whenever theta is more than 90, the flux is inside, that is flux will be inside the surface, flux is inside surface, which is negative, and then let us say this point, at this point if I consider area, the area will be like this, and perpendicular to this area is the area vector, ds vector. And here if you check angle theta, that is angle between magnetic field and area vector, this theta is definitely less than 90, therefore at this location cos theta, which is less than 90, is positive. And here the flux is leaving the surface, here flux was entering into the surface and it is outside the surface, therefore here the flux is outside flux, we can say outside flux is positive, and inside surface flux, here we can say inside flux also directly we can say will be negative. This is important, right? When your flux is entering into the surface, it is negative. When your flux is leaving the surface, it is positive. Or if theta is less than 90 degree, it is leaving the surface and it is positive. And if theta is more than 90 degree, it is entering into the surface and it is negative. And the flux is calculated as phi is equal to b dot es, which is the bs cos theta, or simply with integration method, if the surface is not uniform, this will be the formula to find flux. Now let us understand the Gauss law of magnetism. Now write down the Gauss law of magnetism. Now Gauss law of magnetism says that according to Gauss law of magnetism, the net magnetic flux, here we are discussing about the net magnetic flux, not magnetic flux. It is a net magnetic flux, means addition of all inside as well as outside. The net magnetic flux through any closed surface, the surface must be closed, very very important. The surface must be closed, then only this law is applicable. The net magnetic flux through any closed surface is always zero. Now here let us consider any closed surface. If I consider a closed surface, let us say sphere. Sphere is one of the closed surface. Let us say this is a spherical surface like this. Now for this spherical surface, it is like football. This spherical surface is like football. So you can imagine the football. It is hollow inside like this. This is a closed spherical surface. And my dear students, the net magnetic flux through the closed surface is always zero. That means if I consider very small area, let us say if I consider at any location, let us say here I will consider area. This is very small area ds. Therefore the direction of this area will be perpendicular to the surface. And for spherical surface, the perpendicular always passes through. It always passes through center. Therefore this is the direction of ds. And let us say at this location the magnetic field is passing anywhere, it may pass anywhere. Let us say the magnetic field is passing like this, b, right, and angle is theta, this angle is theta, right? So my dear students, if I want to calculate d phi through very small area, this will become b dot ds, which is again for, if I want to calculate for entire area, I have to integrate for closed surface. It is a symbol for closed surface, then it will become b dot ds, and this is always equal to 0. Because my dear students, here for one positive flux there is always one negative flux. Let us understand this flux whenever it is entering. Now if I check this flux whenever it is entering, this is a b during entering, right? This will be the direction. And if I consider here area, the same small ds if I consider here, and now at this location the angle will be like this. See, this will be the ds direction, which is perpendicular to the area. Ds is perpendicular to the area, right? And angle between them is definitely more than 90, right? Means here the flux, we can say the outside flux is positive. Already we have seen outside flux is positive and inside flux is negative. And this inside flux and outside flux all together will get cancel each other. All the inside fluxes will cancel all the outside fluxes. You can check here. Let us say if I show all the fluxes like this, like this, right? See, at these locations they are inside, at this location they are outside, means all entering will cancel out all the leaving, and the net flux will be zero for a closed surface. This is called Gauss law for magnetism. Now already in magnetism topic we have discussed that, let us say we have one north and south pole. Let us say we have one north pole. Here I will write north pole and here I will write south pole. Now whatever the magnetic field coming from the north pole, it will go into the south pole. Now again this will rotate, it is forming a closed loop. If you see, they are again rotating, it is forming the closed loop. Already we have seen in magnetism, right? They are forming a closed loop like this. Again from this side they are forming a closed loop, right? The magnetic field lines always close continuous curves. Here we can say magnetic field lines, B field lines, B means magnetic field lines, are close continuous curves, are close continuous curves. That already we have seen in magnetism. Let us say we have one wire, current carrying wire. Let us say this is a wire, right, through which current is flowing, current I is flowing. Now around this wire the magnetic field lines are close continuous like this. They are rotating out around this wire like this. Again here I can assume like this, again like this. This is how the magnetic field lines are rotating about this wire, right? The magnetic field lines are close continuous lines. So for the previous case also, for closed surface they are close continuous, means whatever the lines entering through the surface here, let us say if I consider closed surface like this, right? For the closed surface, as the magnetic field lines are continuous, therefore whatever lines entering into the surface, the same lines will be leaving the surface, means the total flux is entering as well as leaving. Therefore the net flux will be zero. The net flux will be total entering, let us say total entering is minus phi, total leaving is plus phi, will be equal to 0, and this is nothing but the Gauss law of magnetism. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will see Faraday's law.